Good morning and welcome to Friday's live trading. It's actually Thursday, but what I've decided, it's only 7:40 at the moment, 7:41 in the morning on Thursday morning. I've decided it's ECB day today. Tomorrow, Friday, is non-farm payroll, so it's you never know if we get a trade on that. So I thought, well, I'll trade today and then put it out there tomorrow. So I'm looking at the euro dollar here. Like I said, it's only 7:42 in the morning. I'm here with the guys in the trading room. And I'm going to be looking to put a short on the euro here this morning. Now we've got this ECB later. It's not until really 1:30 p.m. So there's plenty of time for the euro to move around. So I'm just looking at a potential short. The only debate I was just having with the guys really was whether to use a wider stop and then just run and then just hold on to the trade throughout the morning, so to speak. Or to trade it a bit tighter with a tight stop and you know and then just see how we can get on with and see if it can have a bit of a run this morning and then we're sort of done. So I think I'm going to have a tighter stop, probably around about 15 pips. So that's the reality there. So about 15 pips. So guys, if you want to trade along, I'm going to be using a 15 pip stop. So I'm just calculating my position size. Right, okay. So what I'm looking for now, if I take this chart up, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a little band play just on the 5 minute chart here. I'm just going to use that. I've got these prior lows here as well, which looks like it's going to come in around about 112.10 area, it looks. So 112.10 area, maybe 112.12, but somewhere in that zone, with a stop up here around about 112.25. If I have a stop here at 112.20, that is vulnerable to getting for a spike to go up there and just take that out and then come back over. 112.25 is, you could always argue that that even 112.25 is also 112.25 is only about where my cursor is. Actually, about there. Still vulnerable, but you have to have a stop somewhere, and I can always then just regroup. So I've taken that decision rather than having a wider stop, putting a stop up at 124, let's say, 112.40. Looking at the chart there. Rather than having a stop up there on a day like today, where realistically I'm going to want to be out of this trade by the time we get to the ECB announcement. So unless it's already had a good run, of course, in which case I'm already at a position where it doesn't matter. But other than that, that's the reality. So I might as well have a stop, which is going to get me out if that's the case. Right, I'll press pause for now because it's all of a sudden I thought it was about to get up there, and it's just sort of paused here. So I'll press pause. Okay, here we go. Right, I was just saying to the guys, so I'm going to start edging in. So I'm edging in here at 07, and so that's the first one. I've got 3 units I can put in on this basically. So that's the first one. So it's about 1.5 lots. The reason we've come down that little bit lower than when I was just last talking before I press pause, because we've come that bit lower. The band is that bit lower now as well. So that's why I've just edged in there on that band. I'm still going to put that stop up there around about 112.25. So I'm just hoping that we can just have a little bit more. So I've got one of my units in so far, and I'm hoping I can have just stagger my units a little bit across a range of pippage. So we're just waiting to see if I can get that slightly better entry. See, there's another one there, 08, so nearly there. Okay, 086 is the second entry, and then so I could wait for that better entry, but sometimes it won't give you it, and then it just rolls over, and then you haven't got in at all. So I've used the bands, but also I would have liked us to come up to that prior low there as well. So if we can hit sort of 910, then I'll get the third unit in, so to speak. So I've got 2 units in so far. Haven't even got the stop loss in yet because I'll just put that in a minute. Just having that reaction to that band immediately there. So just while that's playing around, I might as well just get my stops in. So let's do that. It always gives you a recommended stop. Or I say recommended, it's just based on, it's a standard based on a percentage away from the current price. 112.25. 112.25. And the other one, let's get this up. 112.25. There we go. Okay, so I'll hold off for the third unit, see if I can get that price back up towards that 112.10 area. So it's effectively going to be a net stop across the entries of around about maybe 16 or so pips. So that's where it's going to be looking there. So let's just see. 109. My fingers on the trigger. Morning, Ace. So I'm just saying morning to people. There we go. 10. That'll do. Okay, so let's just get the third stop loss in, and then we'll just talk about this. 112.25. Okay. Actually, I'm going to press pause because I better put a notice up on our app for our traders. So, okay, so as we can see, the euro has just spiked up into those lows as it's turned out anyway. But anyway, I've got in. So what I'm looking for is I've put my stop, like I said, up there at 112.25, a bit above these highs, just in case it did want to do a cheeky little stop run potentially. If people have got already trading here today, there'll already be traders in, and I've got stops just there. Of course, I could still get nicked out even up there, but you've got to put a stop somewhere. And like I've said, I can at least regroup rather than having my stop up at 112.40 today. That bit higher away. I really wanted to be able to be in this trade and hopefully be out this morning. If it's going to work out, I want to be out this morning ahead of the news. If this one doesn't work out, then what I'll be doing is, well, we'll see. I might even trade it again. If it was to spike up and then come back down, then I'll trade it again. Otherwise, I'll be waiting until after the ECB news and seeing if there's, for future trades there. There should be a reasonable amount of volatility on the euro today as we go through it later. So I'll press pause for now. Could be a long video today. Okay, just come back here. So the euros, this is the 5-minute chart again, just come down a little bit, but we're just sort of going through other stuff here at the moment. And the reason I've put this back on is that although I've got that stop right up there at 25, we do have other types of stops that I can use which are more aggressive once price turns, but I'm not employing that here today. I'm just stops up there. We're just going to see how this gets on. So otherwise I've got other aggressive stops that I can use if price comes up a bit, then say, right, that's it, there's the exit, out, because it's not doing what we want. But anyway, so and I've got some aggressive exits that I could use as well if we were to have a bit of a run on the downside. So I have some other exits which are not related to using targets. I've been going through this with the guys in the trading room over the last week. But as far as the targets are concerned, I do think that this level down here, I've got a 50 moving average here on this chart. It's down here at 111.61. It's not been tested as yet. It could want to pull down for that 2-hour 50, but we'll have to see. We'll see how I want to decide to manage this position, knowing full well that we've got a load of news coming later on. And I'll be looking to trade on the back of that as well. So anyway, I'll press pause now. Okay, just back here, and I've just been having a long chat with the guys in the trading room about, holding on to trades on a swing basis, for what I call thematic. Sorry, I'm laughing. I was talking to one of our members here called Mossy. I'll bring it over so you can see what we're talking. Oh, you probably won't be able to see him. Oh no, you're not going to see. It's off the bottom of the screen, and I was just saying, I'm just lost for words here. I just quickly paused the recording because I couldn't remember the word I was looking for, but thematic trades. So, and we're just having a long conversation about thematic trades and turtle traders and what they used to do and stuff. But anyway, whilst we're talking here, I'll just review this euro dollar. So we can see it's come down, and it did while I've been off the mic, so to speak. I've had you on pause. We can see it had come a bit lower. And in fact, looking at the 5 minute chart here now, and I've not really been paying too much attention to it, it's been making these what I call marginal new lows here, and then it's had a bit of a pop. So what I was looking for from the euro today was to see if it was going to have a bit of a run. It's not. Not particularly. It got down to what 111, 111.95. But what I mean is having a run, because I've got to get out of this prior to the news, haven't I? And then we're now at 10:15 a.m. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that if I allow this to bounce too much, that's going to take a couple of hours or so, and all that's going to happen is I'm going to end up having to come out of my trade right up here at 112.20. So I am going to aggressively move my stop down now. It's either going to have to go and have a bit of a run, or I might as well come out because I think it's going to just end up where it just holds, and I'm going to have to close out right up here anyway. So let's have another look here. So I think it's having a bit of a go at this 5 minute 50 here, my black moving average. It's had a couple of attempts now, a few attempts. So it may want to have like I said, a pop up. Now, if it's going to have that pop up, that'll work its way back up to possibly as far as the hourly 20. I'm talking about potentials here, by the way. But then what I'm going to have to do is come out up there because the time is running out. We're only 2 hours away now. Time is a factor. So knowing that, if this was a normal trade, then I wouldn't give two hoots about it coming up there and then allowing it to roll all the way back over again. It wouldn't matter. But it's a big news day. Time is running out. So I am going to aggressively move my stops now. So we've given it a bit of a chance this morning to have a bit of a run, but it's not. So I'm going to move the stops down to 112.10, up to this little 5 minute high. There we go. So let's do that. So I'm going to move those stops down to 112.11 basically. 112. I put it in at 10 on Saxo Bank here because that means it has to go to 112.11 to get me stopped. So the stop is officially at 112.11, but I actually put it in at 10 there on Saxo on these 3 units. So 112. 10? What did I say? 10. Yeah, it's there's all sorts of decisions you can and cannot make on a day like today. I still want to trade through or after the news today, so I think there's a big potential of another trade yet to come. 10. There we go. So there's a big potential of another trade yet to come, but I might as well just come out, just take a couple of pips of loss there. Yeah, bear with me a sec, Nisha. I'm still recording at the moment. There's just a couple of pips there, but just looking at it, we've given it a chance. As I keep saying, we've given it a chance. I think if it comes up there, then I've got to then come out ahead of the news at that point, and all that I'm done is right, yeah. Now it's not to say that this can't come firing down on the news, which I'm sort of half expecting it to do, but I can't take that gamble on that if it's holding up there as we go into the news at 12:45. You see, so we've only got, like I said, just a bit over 2 hours. So until then, I'm not going to have to make that decision to come out up there anyway. So I might as well just aggressively move my stop like I have done, and just put up with that for the time being. It had its chance, so to speak, for now, but there'll be other opportunities later depending on what's going on, so we'll review that later. So I've moved the stop for now. Press pause. Okay, just back here, and the euro's still sort of trying to come back down for us. That's the hourly chart again there. We'll see. It's not doing a lot there. You can see it's rolling here on the 5. It's trying, but I just think that it needs actively managing here because of that news coming out later. So anyway, I'm about to take a break from the guys in the trading room, and I've been on the mic since 7:40 this morning, so nearly 3 hours. So it's time for a break. Give them a break. I'm going to put a target in. I don't think it's going to go there, but I'll put some limit orders in down there just in case. Even when I'm on a break, I'm always monitoring the markets anyway. But certainly from doing the video is concerned, if I'm not in the house, then and I'm walking the dog, then I won't be able to do the video at that point, obviously. So then it won't be I won't necessarily be able to do that. So let's put the limit order in at 111.65. I'm putting it in at for now, and let's put that in on the other two tickets as well. On 11.65. And 111.65. Okay, so I've put those targets in there, and I've managed the stop. I was just saying to the guys here that if it does get down a bit further, if it was to get down to sort of 111.80, then I'll manage that stop down to sort of just a bit above 112. Certainly get the stop down to break even by then. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's had its chance to have a bit of a run earlier. We're into that mid-morning time. It's 10:35 here. So I think it's probably just going to languish around. But I'll happily be proven wrong if it wants to come down. Anyway, that's it for now. We'll be back later. Recording. Okay, just back, guys. It's now just gone 12 o'clock, so we're getting close to the news now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just take one of the units off now. So if we go back to the hourly charts, it really hasn't done much. There we are. But what I can do then is if I take one of the units off, so let's get the deal tickets up. What was the best one? There it is. Let's bring it up. One of the entries at 112.09, 9.9, so it was basically 112.10. So I'm going to take this one off. It's in a whopping £30 of profit there. So I have cashed out. I'm just going to quickly put that onto the app. So just press pause. Okay. So what I've effectively done is by taking that unit off I've just put that onto our app. I've now only got 2 units out of the 3 remaining from this morning, and if we carry on congesting around, it got close to my stop there, but my stop, like I said, was at 112.10. It has to go to 112.11 to stop me out, which it didn't. So I've got the other 2 units remaining. If it carries on chopping around, it doesn't matter now if it fires up on the news and I get slippage, because I'm only getting slippage on 2/3 of the position now, not on the full position. So I can afford to do that. But if it then does fire down, then I'm still in with something. So that's okay. That's what I've done now. So we've given it a try here this morning. It's not done much. I could have just closed it all out and banked a little profit across the board, but it'd still be nice to hold in. If it does just completely drop, then we end up getting don't have to try and find a new entry. So that's what I've done so far. I still think that between now and the news, we've got just over half an hour. That between now and the news that it'll probably come up and stop me anyway. But if it doesn't and it's carrying on down here, then I get the best of both worlds. If it goes up, slippage doesn't matter. Even if it fires up into those 20s, that's really where it wouldn't matter. So if it fired up and all of a sudden it's at 112.40, well, and I get 10 pips beyond my original stop of slippage, then it doesn't matter because I've reduced the position. If it fires down, bonus. Right, there we go. Hopefully that's not too confusing for you. So let me give you a quick update of the positions. Let's just take a screenshot here. From the positions from today. So here's the positions from this morning. The 3 positions. I've just banked that one, which is why it goes grey for a whopping £31.
And these are the two open positions. So remember, the first entry was at 07, the second entry at 0686, and the third entry at 099. So the stops there at 112.10, and I've got those targets down there at 111.65. So I keep saying it. I think now that I'll probably end up getting stopped. Don't need to say that. I'll probably end up getting stopped because there's going to be some volatility coming, but you never know. But it doesn't matter as well. I think I've protected the trade. But post all of the news, likely post 1:30 is where the real interesting stuff comes. This can unfortunately be a very long video today because there could be more trading to come yet, and so we shall see. I'll press pause for now. The thingy-jiggy. Right, just back here. So it's 12:45. So we've just had the initial news announcements out, and you can see that we have now blipped up. So it was the right thing to do. If I'd have had my stop still at 112.25, I would have just got stopped out there. So let's go back to the hourly charts. So I have got stopped. So let's bring this up, and I think that the trade management has been spot on today. So let's just bring this up, have a look at it. So there's the other stop outs. The stop was at 112.10, but with a little bit of slippage there, it's at 12.12. So 31 pounds banked, and then 17 and 22. So so what's that? Whatever that works out, about 40, 39. 39 versus 31. Okay, so it's basically break even so far. Basically break even. So I think I've done exactly the right thing on this. But this is getting interesting. Now this is going to pose a dilemma as well, because the euro dollar is firing up here, but we haven't even got to the press conference yet. It's only just gone 12:45. It's 12:47 at the moment. So this is great. I mean, I shouldn't say this is great, but I'm in long positions, as our members know that I'm in long positions. So I'm quite happy if it goes up. But I will buy this on an intraday basis as well here this afternoon. But I'm going to have to wait. I've been going through the plan of action with the guys. I wasn't expecting this much news, this much movement on this initial part of news. But I'm going to have to be a little bit patient because of the press conference coming. But certainly, if we can hold up here this afternoon, I'm happy to buy it. Happy to buy it. So we'll see what happens there. I'll press pause for now. Okay, so we've had this big up move. Now I'm going to be looking to go in aggressive because it's possible that the dilemma is you go in aggressively and you get stopped because this could just roll over. But I like the move. The news, the market has liked the what's happened. The difficulty is that I could not go in and then completely miss out if it then carries on going up and then we've missed out. So fear of FOMO, isn't it? I guess. But technically, it's had this break up. I'm going to go with the break. The potential target's well into the 113s. So I know there's divergent activity in the background. There has been today, but I'm just going to go with the price action and see if it can blow that out of the water, so to speak. So a 40 pip stop. So far, all I've had is a break-even trade, effectively. So and we'll see what happens this afternoon. If I get stopped out, then so be it, sort of thing. So if it just needs to come down a little bit more, I'm looking for it to come down. These are all my charts here, different time frames. There's the 15-minute charts, the 30-minute charts, the hourly. Just looking for a little bit of a dip here, which it's having. Just wanted a little bit more down into the upper 140s, and I'll buy that with a 40 pip stop below it. So putting the stop right down here. Okay, so hopefully that's giving it enough room. So that's what I'm going to be looking to do. So I'll get a deal ticket ready. So obviously the position size is different on this trade because it's got a wider stop than the trade I took this morning. So it'll only be a half lot position size if this triggers in. I wasn't expecting to be in a trade this side, excuse me, of the press conference, but it's given me a dilemma here. I can't argue with the charts. So So I'll take the trade based on the charts. Let's see if it can set up. So I'll press pause for now and we'll see if we can get this. Okay, so we're just back and we're getting close there now for that pullback that I've been talking about. So I'm just looking for it to get into the 40s and then I'm going to hit this. Like I said, I'm going to have about about a 40 pip stop. So it's going to be, the stop therefore is going to be somewhere down just south of 112.10 there. So with a 40 pip stop once I get in, and hopefully this isn't just going to be one of those occasions where it's had a lovely move up and then it just gives it all back as we go over the next hour or so. Hopefully that's not the case, but so far we're pretty much a break-even day, and I want to see if we can carry on blowing out some of these retail traders that are out there that are all short at the moment on euro dollar, that have been short. I was going through this morning with the guys in the room here. Something like 68% of retail traders are short. Not surprising. Eurodollar's had a good run over recent days. Let's quickly show you that daily chart. It's had this great run in recent days over the last week and a half or so. So nearly 2 weeks. And naturally, retail traders will start to short because that's what they tend to do. Market goes up, retail traders are shorting. Market goes down, retail traders going long. So what I'm hoping is that the market is going to create a bit more pain for those guys. So it doesn't have to be that they're not necessarily wrong with retail traders, because okay, we're nearly there. We're into the 49s. So there we go. Okay, 47. Got in a 47. So I'm going to put a stop down there, 40 pips lower. So let's have a look here. Yeah, I've got 47.8 I got in at. So let's get the stop in. Let's move this over. Now I'm expecting some movement once the press conference starts. 1.1207. There we go. Okay, so long. Okay, let's just quickly put this on the app for our traders. I'll just press pause for a second. So yeah, so it's not always the case. So just because you've got retail or short, you've got to bear in mind, as I was discussing with our traders this morning, that they would have started shorting right back here. They start shorting all through this. So the euro can pull back, and a lot of retail traders will still be underwater because lots of them don't use stop losses. You see, so but anyway, nevertheless, let's see. I shorted this morning. We managed the trade. So it didn't cost anything, because there was, technically there are some, like I said, there's some divergent behavior going on, which could mean that the euro wants to come off. But I'm going with what's happened on the news and the spike and the price action that we've had, and seeing if this is a nice strong up bar followed by a pullback, and then eventually we start going higher again as we go through this afternoon. I'm not expecting it to go up again. What time are we at? Yeah, 1:15. So we've got the press conference starting in just over 15 minutes time. So I'm not expecting too much to be going on right now, but the trade's in, and so we now see. I always go in at this. The reason I go in at here, and I still have a stop right down here, is this is a valid entry, and it could just turn around from here and then work its way higher. But at the same time, I'd like to give it that room to say, well, we've got a bit of volatility coming. It could spike down into this zone and get all the way down to 112.20s and then still turn up. So I'm giving it that room to breathe and just position size accordingly. So the risk is actually, obviously the same. So I suspect we're just waiting now for that news. What happens though if this does just roll all the way over and I get stopped? Well, can I do anything with it? I will look at it. It's a potential. There is some potential there, but I suspect if it happens, I'm just looking at it now, there is some potential actually building. If that was to happen, then the only thing is I don't think it would be a day trade anymore. It's probably more likely to be a trade that I'm in and it rolls maybe down overnight or whatever. But we'll worry about that as and if that happens. For now, I'll press pause. Okay, so we're just coming into 12 o'clock. No, we're not. 2 o'clock. We've had a bit of a bounce. We came down. Remember, the stop's down at 112.07. We've had a bit of a deep retrace. We're having a bounce. I'm going to move that stop now up to below those lows. I think it's had a deeper retrace than than obviously we really want. But so we'll move that stop up to 112. I've said 15 again on Saxo Bank. I move it to 16 because everyone else is at 15. On Saxo Bank, as I always say, it has to go through 16 on the ask price, so I will get stopped out, providing there's no slippage, at around about 15. So there you go. So there we go. Stops moved, guys, to below that low. So what we need to happen now is, well, this to work, gradually work its way up. The risk is it has had a bit of a deep retrace, and maybe it wants to do some more. But I was just talking to the guys in the trading room here. There's a scenario here where there's going to be a lot of traders all around the world who have been starting to get short for all of this. As it started to come down, and as it went up, they would have started getting short. So if it does start to want to come up, I will look to add to my position. If it does, it needs to come up here anyway, and it may not well happen. But if it does, then it could well be that we could add to our position, providing I can move the stop up a bit more. So we'll see. I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and we can see that it's coming back for us. Now I'm going to move that stop up to 112.20. So let's do that. Bring up the ticket here, 112.20. So that's on my ticket. That means 21. I'm saying 112.20 for our members, because they have other brokers who just, as soon as it hits 20 on either side, it will just get stopped out. So I've talked about the potential to add into this trade. Because it's done a deeper retrace, I've just been talking to the guys here that I need it to get up into the 60s. And, but if I want to add, then I'm adding risk, obviously. Now I'm moving my stop up on the original position. It was originally 40 pips. It's now only 27. But I've still not moved up quite enough yet, even though I've moved the stop. So can I justify getting another entry in? Now, like I always say, since starting doing these live videos again the last couple of times I've done them so far, I'll risk personally £200 to £300 on these on this account on these trades. So can I mean, I can do it because I can just push the risk out a little bit more if I add in here, but I'm thinking of the guys in the trading room as well. So now they could put a half size in and do it that way. I can't work out how that will work out with having the stop at 112.20 on this original position. But I'm literally thinking out loud at the moment. So I'm going to press pause, try and work it out with a half size position. If we get up into the 60s, if a half size position, the stop would still have to be down at sort of 112.20 on the add-in. And the only way to do it, the only way to get around this, is to be more aggressive on the stop and trowel this stop below my bands here. Because realistically, I was just saying to the guys that this needs to go now. It's had its retrace. It needs to go. So this is what I call one of my momentum trades. So it's had a big initial up bar, then on this occasion a deeper retrace. I've given it enough on my stop to allow for it, but now we're into stop management now. So really now we've got these closes up here, it needs to hold up. So I can be a bit more aggressive on my stop. I'll be able to move it up to 112.25. So then that's only a 20 pip, roughly 22 pip stop on my original position. So if I do that, then 112.25 on the original position, I'm still going to be putting another position in with a stop which is going to be by itself 40 pips. So I still can't do it on mine without increasing the overall risk. So I'm thinking out loud, I'm not going to be able to do it. Our members might be able to do it with a smaller position, but I don't want to go any smaller on this account than I've already put in. I don't want to put a smaller position in that. So I'm going to have to leave that, but I've wanted to think out loud. But certainly what we can do with the price action here, let's move up the stop can already be moved again. Now I can see where my bands are, and I'm still giving it room even at 25. So stops can now be moved to 25, which is 26 on mine. So bit by bit, we're taking risk off the trade. Okay. The stop had to be down there to allow for this type of move, because when you get big news days like this, there's volatility, and that's exactly what we've had. If we take it back to the hourly chart, we can see that we've had that big move up. Then we've had a decent retrace, a deep retrace. Wasn't a shallow retrace. I still don't know whether obviously we're going to break out 100% yet, but it's doing the right thing. But certainly now it has come up. I can afford to have that stop up, because if it's not going to go with the momentum here, if the momentum's going to die, then I might as well be moving my stop up. If the momentum's going to die, I might as well be, because it needs to go. I'm giving it enough room. I'm not like choking it, but I have to do that. Anyway, I'll press stop, not stop, pause. Okay, I was just saying to the guys in the room here that we're just still actively managing the stops here. So if the market can break out, so if we can get up to sort of 112.70 or so, then I'll be able to move that stop again to the sort of 112.30 zone. So I'm still giving it enough room. And I was just saying to the guys, we were just discussing, and like I was talking about that psychology earlier on, all those people who are shorted all through here, the market may just want to take out the highs. It doesn't have to, but it may want to take out those highs just to take out any stops that have accumulated up there. But so anyway, if it does move up, then breakout, then I'll be moving that stop up to 112.30 and carry on. I don't always just trail the stops. This is nice. It's nice aggressive trade management really on a momentum move like this today. The momentum, as I keep saying, has to keep going. It's got to keep going now. It's turned. It's going in the direction of the overall trend. But I'm well aware that when we look at like a 4-hour chart of this, I was just saying to the guys, it's had a good run. Look how far away it is from the 50 MA. So I know that it's in the latter stages, but sometimes in a latter stage you get a spike, and that's what I've been looking for, going against those retail traders, as I keep on saying today. So in a few minutes, it looks like I'll be moving the stop up to 112.30. Well, if it can get up to that. If we can get up to 112.70 or so, then I'll do that. Okay, just back. I think it's come up enough. We're going to move that stop to 112.30 now. So let's get the ticket up. So it was at 26. So when I say 12.30, that means 31 on mine. Yeah, that's still fine. It's down here. Yeah, because that means I'll get stopped out at 30. So stops moved to 112.30. So we're right up here. It's just a case now of, I was saying to the guys, are we going to get this whoosh? We could just do a limp biscuit. We could limply make our way through these highs to take out any stops, like I've said, of any of those shorts, and then it just sort of runs out of steam. But if we can get a whoosh, then we're in business. So if it can have a bit of a run, we're not that far away from 113. It could, we could say, well, blimey, 113 will certainly be at a point where I can move the stops to break even if that was to happen. Or is this just going to be a stop run, stopped out a load of those shorts as I'm speaking, and actually now it just sort of gradually rolls over. So I'm not willing to move my stop up that aggressively just yet, where I want to move my stop up to sort of break even. Not just yet, but if we can get a strong close above those highs, then I can start doing that as well. Because again, this is a momentum move. It needs to keep going. But at some point it's going to run out of momentum. This won't last. That's why it needs, like I was saying, this a bit of a whoosh move. So if it doesn't get that, it's just going to gradually roll back over. But the stops are obviously minimal now. But as much as when I do these recordings, obviously I want you as the viewer to see the types of things that we do. And of course, it's always nice to say, oh look, there was a winner or whatever. But this is, you're seeing what I think is a really nice example today of the trade management on this morning's trade, to get that to a point where it was at practically, basically break even. few quid, you know. And then this one this afternoon as well. So, and talking through the psychology of the market as well. So anyway, I don't mind this one being a long video. We're 40 minutes in. I'll press pause for now. Okay, right, just back again. So here we are, still holding up here. We can now move that stop up to 35. So let's just move this across. So we've been gradually just moving the stop up today. So therefore mine, I move it to 36. So we're still waiting to see if we're going to get an outright breakout. The downside to that now is that it's, as I'm filming this, it's just coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're getting that mid-afternoon. Is it out of gas now? And so we'll have to see if it's running out of gas. But the point is now is that with the trade management, even if it was to come down now, it's basically a 10 pip stop. Originally it was 12 pips. Originally it was 40. So we're at like a quarter of the original stop sort of thing. That's all we'll lose now. But it'd be nice if we can have a breakout, of course. But I'm tracking it up. I'm still giving it enough room. I could easily move the stop up to break even because we're at 64. I could move the stop to 47 and move it to break even. But I still like to give a market a bit of room, just a bit of slack. Because if it did want to just do a pullback here, it could pull back, easily nick me out at break even and then come up. So I'm still trying to give it a little bit of room. But bit by bit, maybe in another 10-15 minutes, I'll be moving that stop up to 40. So we are moving it. I'd love to see a breakout. We shall see. Okay, here we are again. We're still moving up. I think this is going to run out of steam at some point, but we can move our stop up again if I can drag the ticket over. There it is. So we're now moving up to 40. Obviously mine's at 41, but effectively the stop is now at 40 down here. Okay, so of course I can move it up to break even, and we're getting closer to moving it up to break even, but 40 for now. Well, okay, so it looks like at the moment we're still having a bit of a think about it here. It's only 10 past 3, but what I am going to do is I'm going to adjust that target now. We're getting later in the day, and I'm going to adjust the target. Actually, I hadn't put one in on this. It was going to be 113.30, but the target is now basically 113. So I'm going to put type it in at 112.99. There we go, 112.99. So it's not, because we've run out of time. What I wanted 113.30, but that was based on there being a decent amount of volatility, and it sort of slams up, bit of a pullback, and then whoosh, and off it goes again. We're not having that. I think we're running out of steam a little bit, so we're doing the right thing in moving the stops and managing those, but let's not ask for too much, just to have it just below that next big round number there. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and as we can see, we're still marching up. We can now move the stop to pretty much break even, and I say pretty much on mine. I'll put it in at 48. I think my actual entry was at 47.8, just below. It should say it somewhere on here. 47.8, yeah. So I'm moving the stop to 48, which would basically be break even. It would be a marginal loss, I guess, because I'd probably get stops in the lower 47s. But as we can see, the market is marching on. We're at 87 now, so we're about just over 10 pips away from the target. For me, and I appreciate this is a very long YouTube video, or video as you are watching it, but it's been a fascinating day, both from this morning's session and from this afternoon's session. A fascinating day looking at the market psychology in place as well. We still don't know yet whether we're gonna get to that target, or whether we're gonna blast through it, of course. So we'll carry on managing the stop, just because it's at break even. I will want to gradually get it into profit as well, and that looks like that's going to happen. But for now, stops at break even. We're at 91. That target's at 99, just on the big round number. Okay, just back again, and we're now going to start moving that stop into profit. It's not going to make a lot of difference because it's not a huge profit at the moment if it goes there. But I'm going to move that stop up to 65. So 66 on there. So stops up at 65. And we're about 5 pips or whatever away from the target. Round number 113. Of course, it can carry on blasting through. The shorts are taking pain today, as I've been saying. And what's actually happened, we've just been watching the retail trader sentiment, and retail trader sentiment was 66% net short across a number of different broker sources earlier today. It's now gone up to 70, best part of 72. So as the market's gone higher, retail have carried on adding to shorts or shorting. So either adding to existing positions or new fresh shorts are coming in, because what happens is retail in a trend like this on the daily chart thinks it can't go any higher, and yet sometimes it does when too many people from a market psychology perspective get on the wrong side. That's what happens. So anyway, we're about 5 pips away, so 4 or 5 pips, it's nearly there. So yeah, but we've moved the stop up again there, so I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back. Well, as you can see, we've hit the 113. The initial target was, let's see if I can bring it up. Oh, I'll take the screenshot. Yeah, of course. The initial target was 113.30, but because of the time of the day, it had. I felt that we were running out of juice or out of time here, and it's more likely to be a lot slower. Will it really get to 113.30? Hence why we've adjusted it. But if you can just about make it out, I know this is greyed out now because the trade's closed, but the entry was there at 47. It hit at 112.99, giving a £202 profit on that trade, with the basically break-even trade this morning. So what's nice here this afternoon is it's still going. Look, fortunately I'm long overall with plenty of our swing traders, so fortunately I'm long overall. But I was just saying to the guys in the trading room, what's nice here, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, is the market psychology today, which we've been talking about it, when I've not been recording so much, and it's made for a fascinating afternoon, talking about what longs are doing, what shorts are doing, and don't think that longs have won the day, so to speak. Of course they have, but there still would have been longs that would have got stopped out on that pullback that happened earlier on. 100% there would have been plenty of day traders who would have still got stopped out on that as well. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to it. This is Friday's live trading video. Give us a thumbs up if you like today's video. Sorry it's so long, but I think it's been well worth it. So this was from yesterday, the ECB day, which I felt would be a better day to record. Look at that, and it's gone up to practically my target, my original target. There you go. Can't always win, can you? You think, we're getting too late in the day. It's not going to happen now. Anyway, it's nearly there. Looks like it's nearly going to get there. Anyway, a nice enough day. I'll leave you to it. And Kim will be back, I guess, with you next week. Yes. Take care for now.